You've climbed the ladder, earned the titles, and maybe even landed that six-figure salary. But deep down, you know you're still waiting for someone to see your value, waiting for the next promotion, waiting for the real breakthrough, that pinnacle CEO or CFO title. What if I told you that the smartest move isn't waiting for your time? It's stepping off the ladder completely and buying the entire building. This video might just change your life. I've spent the last 5 years researching this topic, consulting and advising founders and professionals just like you. And over that time, here's what I've learned. The fastest way to wealth, executive level power, and long-term freedom isn't chasing titles or waiting on that next promotion. It's buying a profitable business and taking control. In this video, I'm breaking down the 5 powerful reasons why professionals should stop waiting in line for the next promotion and start thinking like owners. I'm also going to be addressing some of the biggest myths and misconceptions about buying established businesses. So whether you're in finance, accounting, strategy, operations, or simply just tired of being underleveraged and, let's be honest, underpaid, then this one's for you. Let's start with the most practical reason. Established businesses already have cash flow. And if you're a career professional, that should matter to you a lot. Now you might be thinking, why not just start my own business from scratch for an idea that I believe in or idea that I'm really passionate about? And although that's a fair question, let me give you some facts backed by real research. Studies show that over 1 in 5 startups fail in their first year and fewer than half make it to year 5. Even more telling, 38% of those failures happen because of poor cash flow management. But when you buy a small business, especially from a retiring owner, you're essentially stepping into something that is already profitable. You're not trying to figure out whether there's a market. You're not trying to build a customer base. You're not trying to build a customer base from zero. It's already working, and now it's time to scale. Now, your next question may be, don't I need millions of dollars to buy a profitable business? That assumption comes from watching what private equity firms do. But here's the truth. You don't need $1 million in cash to buy a profitable business. See, research shows that roughly 60 to 90% of all small business sales involve seller financing, which simply means that the current owner allows you to pay over time. Now you might ask, why would they do that? Well, there are many reasons why a seller might consider using seller financing to sell their business. One of those reasons is because it helps them negotiate better terms. Another reason is that they can close the deal faster and oftentimes get a better tax situation. And in many cases, it creates a steady income stream, something like an annuity for those that are approaching retirement age, which many of these business owners will be. So then you might ask, how likely is it that I even find a business like this? Well, here's the data. Over half of the small business owners in America are planning to retire. And according to experts, more than 2 million small businesses will change hands in the coming years as the baby boomers exit. And it doesn't just stop there. See, about 40% of small businesses in America are owned directly by baby boomers, and another 47% owned by Gen Xers, whom today are between the ages of 45 to 60 years old. So it's safe to assume that there will be strong acquisition opportunities for the next 5 to 20 years. So instead of grinding through startup life or waiting years for someone to finally give you that executive promotion, you can walk into a business that's already generating revenue and scale it from there. Your corporate skills are more valuable in a business you own than one where you're just another name on a resume. Let's be honest. In corporate America, skills like strategic planning, forecasting, controllership, and financial analysis are everywhere. You're expected to have them for certain jobs, and you don't get extra brownie points for having them. You're competing against dozens, sometimes hundreds, of professionals with the same exact credentials as you, and sometimes even more credentials than you currently have. But in a small business, that changes instantly. See, research shows most small businesses don't use formal strategic planning. They often make major decisions based on gut instinct, without clear forecasts, structured budgeting, or long-term growth plans. In fact, one study found that small firms are 4 times less likely than large firms to use performance metrics or data analytics fix when making key decisions. And let's not forget, many small businesses struggle with the basics. We're talking about no proper cash flow management, incomplete profit and loss statements, and no forecasting tools in place. So the same skills you might see as routine in the corporate world, in this space, they're transformational. Imagine taking over a $3 million cleaning business where bookkeeping is still done on paper, there's no system for tracking cash flow, and no real growth strategy. You walk in with your experience in forecasting, financial planning, and strategic execution, and suddenly you're the reason the business can scale. No longer proving your value, you are the value. Reason number 3, unlimited income opportunity. This one's simple, but it hits hard. If you're a senior professional in finance, accounting, strategy, or operations, you're probably aiming to be paid competitively. And sure, you might even be well paid on paper. But here's the truth. Most roles in corporate America, they come with a cap. For example, mid-level financial analysts in the United States earn between $88,000 and $101,000 on average. Even as a controller or financial manager, you might max out around $150,000 to $160,000 annually. But not even everyone makes it that far. If you're in industries like nonprofits or government, that ceiling might be well below market. I've seen professionals doing high-level work for $75,000 a year. I've seen financial managers that are at nonprofits that are only making barely $90,000 a year. And some of these people are stuck there for years. Now, let's compare that to owning a business. According to ZipRecruiter and Comparably, the average small business CEO earns between $110,000 and $132,000. And that's just base salary. Many go way beyond that when you factor in profit sharing and equity growth. But here's where it gets interesting. When you buy a profitable business, you don't just take a paycheck. You set your own salary. If the business is cash flowing well, you can easily pay yourself $200K in year 1 and reinvest the rest to scale further. And it's not just about income. It's about equity. Growing a $1 million business into a $3 million business, then into a $10 million business. That's wealth. That's how portfolios are built, and that's how legacies are created. This isn't about fighting for a 3% merit increase each year. It's about changing your financial lane. You're building an asset that pays you now and appreciates over time. That's the true shift from annual salary to wealth accumulation. Reason number 4, you build your reputation faster when you own and grow a business. After researching trends over the last 5 years and talking directly with several executives, I've learned this. Executive roles aren't awarded based on resumes and interviews. They're earned through track records and reputation. Take Damola Adamalekan, the current CEO of Red Lobster. Before that, he led a major turnaround at P.F. Chang's. He wasn't selected to lead Red Lobster through a traditional hiring process. He was appointed by the private equity firm that acquired Red Lobster, due directly to his proven reputation for navigating complex restructurings. Another great example is Brian Niccol, the now CEO of Starbucks. He built his reputation at both Taco Bell and Chipotle, where he led major brand growths and turnarounds. His resume didn't get him that seat. His track record did. So the question becomes, how does buying a business build your reputation, even if it's not a household name? Well, let's say you acquire a local cleaning company doing $1.5 million in revenue. Then you merge it with 3 other local competitors and scale it to $25 million in just 2 years. That kind of strategic growth gets attention. That's when Forbes, Bloomberg, CNBC, that's when they start calling you. Not because of your resume, but because of your results. See, doing something like that, you start to develop a reputation as someone who can grow, lead, and scale companies. That puts you on the radar. You're no longer hoping for a CEO opportunity. You become the opportunity. You're not just applying for roles. You're getting the calls. And even when you do reach out, you're now taken seriously because now you have the reputation to back it up. Which brings us perfectly into reason number 5. This is the faster path to influence, executive leadership, and the career fulfillment you've been chasing. Once you start building your reputation, you don't just attract attention, you build authority. authority. Other entrepreneurs and executives start reaching out. Startups want your advice. Private equity firms want your perspective. You get invited to consult, speak, and eventually sit on boards. You're no longer navigating a traditional career path. Now, you're shaping it. And it's not just about titles anymore. It's about impact. You're doing work that actually matters. You're influencing industries, mentoring teams, and most importantly, helping companies grow, all while building personal wealth and freedom. Think about it. What do you really want from your career? Fulfillment, acceleration, recognition, ownership, financial freedom? This path delivers all of that, and much faster than waiting on someone to retire or promote you in a corporate system. Now, let me be clear. Yes, this path is riskier. Ownership isn't safe. But here's the thing. No one becomes an executive by playing it safe. Every great leader had to take a bold step before they were handed a board seat, a CEO title, or a business empire. If you want to do the work that moves the needle, live with purpose and get compensated for the value you truly bring. Buying a business isn't just an alternative. It might be your smartest next move. If everything I've shared resonated with you and you're realizing that it's time to stop waiting and start owning, then this is your moment. I work directly with ambitious professionals just like you, helping them transition into ownership, helping them identify the right acquisition target, and build a clear and strategic roadmap for taking over and scaling established businesses. So if you're ready to explore what business ownership could look like for you, book a discovery call with me using the link in the description below. Whether you're still exploring or ready to make your first acquisition, I can help you think through every step. Let's turn your years of experience into something that builds wealth, influence, and freedom. You've already built the skills. Now it's time to own the outcome. That's gonna wrap it up for this video. If this message shifted your mindset or gave you something to think about, do me a favor. Like this video, share with someone ambitious, and drop a comment below and let me know your biggest takeaway. And if you want more content like this, real strategy for professionals ready to build wealth, influence, and freedom, go ahead and subscribe. Turn on your notification bell because I've got a lot more coming your way. Until next time, don't just wait for the next promotion. Build the future you actually want. See you guys on the next one.